What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, and today we're taking a look at the second generation Chromecast, which returns once again at a $35 price point and remains a really interesting way of streaming media from the internet to your television. Now, instead of a lot of set-top boxes which have a box, a remote controller, and an on-screen interface, the Chromecast relies upon mobile devices like your phone, tablet, or computer to control the content streaming on the Chromecast. This makes it very lightweight and very compact, so this can basically plug into the back of your TV and disappear, which leaves your system really clutter-free. So the Chromecast this time is available in 3 distinct colors: coral, lemonade, and black. The new design also improves our Wi-Fi specs. So we have 3 Wi-Fi antennas which are adaptive, so they'll improve performance dependent on the Wi-Fi conditions. We also have dual band support, so we can support both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi networks at 802.11ac Wi-Fi speeds. So all of that performance should improve video and audio quality. Although the Chromecast is a Google product, it's designed to work with Android, iOS, Mac OS X, Chrome OS, and Windows. So getting to the unboxing, first thing we need to do is peel off the tab along the side that allows us to unwrap the sleeve, holding the box together. Now, if you look at the inside of the sleeve, this will give you some instructions on how to set this up. It's very simple, and we'll go through that process in this video. Now, getting back to the box, first thing you see on top is the Chrome logo embossed in that cardboard box. Lifting the lid, we'll find our very brightly colored Chromecast. In this case, we're looking at the coral color. Taken out of the box, we can see it's got this very glossy finish along the top, but remains very lightweight and compact. And along the back, we'll find our HDMI cable magnetically attached to the back of the Chromecast, which just pops off. Now, that magnet is pretty strong. The great thing about this is that it allows us to travel neatly with our Chromecast if we need to take this somewhere for presentation purposes, or if we just want to take our videos or music on the road, you can do that with this Chromecast. So taking a close look at our hardware, along the edges, we'll find a reset button right next to our micro USB port, which is used for powering the Chromecast. We also have an LED status light right next to it. Along the back, we'll find all of our pertinent information, including Google's street address as well as our model number information. So setting that aside really quickly, underneath we'll find our accessories, which includes a cable and a power adapter connected to it. Now, the power adapter is Chrome branded on both sides, but it is otherwise a fairly standard power adapter. In fact, the Chromecast can be powered by a USB port on the back of your television, which is what I'm going to do in this video. But if you don't have a USB port on your television, you can connect it to a wall to power it instead, and the cable is long enough. The longish cable does come with a wire tie, so if you're like me and just connect it to the back of my TV, you can use this to sort of tie it up and keep it neat. So before we set these up, let's take a look at all the colors that are available. So of course we have glossy black, lemonade, as well as coral, so very bright colors. I think the idea here is that you can travel with these Chromecasts, so you want them to sort of match your personality. So if you want a brighter color, you have an option. Obviously, we're seeing some pretty big design changes from the previous generation. So instead of a single USB stick type design, we now have this puck style design with a flexible HDMI cable, which means it's easier to install in tighter locations. And the new design is a bit bigger and heavier to accommodate the beefed up antennas. But they have very similar hardware features, including a reset button, a USB port for powering the Chromecast, and an LED status light. Next up, let's go and connect everything up. First thing I want to do is connect the micro USB cable to the back of the Chromecast. And then I want to connect that to the back of the TV in my case. So I have a USB port on the back of the TV, and it's powerful enough to power my Chromecast. Again, it just needs a standard USB port, so most TVs should have one of these available on the back. So once it's connected, you'll see the LED status light up, indicating what's going on. Next up, we need to connect our HDMI cable to a port on the back of the TV, and of course, we're going to flip the TV around and switch to that port. So as you can see, it's not exactly tidy back here, but the great thing about this new Chromecast design is that with a flexible HDMI cable, you no longer need to use an adapter if your port is crowded or facing toward the back of a wall, like a lot of wall-mounted TVs are. So once the Chromecast is booted up, we get a setup screen indicating that this has to be set up to be used for the first time. So what we want to do is go to either our iOS device or Android device, download the Chromecast app. This will allow us to set it up for the first time. So launching the Chromecast app, the first thing you should see is the Chromecast available to be paired. Once it's selected, the TV and the app will flash a setup code. So all we have to do is verify that those match. Next up, you have to select your region, and then you can go ahead and name your Chromecast on the network. So in my case, I'm going to name it Chromecast Red. Now your Chromecast isn't yet connected to your Wi-Fi network, it's just connected to your phone. So what we'll have to do here is select our network and log in with our password. And once the Chromecast is connected to your Wi-Fi network, it will download the updates and install them. And while that's happening, you'll get a little tutorial, a video tutorial explaining how to use your Chromecast. So with the Chromecast booted up and ready to go, it's ready to start receiving content. So if your Chromecast is sharing a Wi-Fi network with your phone, any apps on your phone that are compatible with the Chromecast will display the cast icon. So for example, if you're watching a YouTube video in the YouTube app, you'll see this little cast icon in the upper corner. So if you tap it, you have the option to select one of the cast devices on your network. Once you select it, it pushes that video to the Chromecast device, and now you have audio and video on your TV. Your phone then becomes the remote controller, so you can pause it, play it, skip ahead, or even adjust the volume right from your phone. Now you don't need to stay on the app to continue watching it. You can leave it and do something else in the background. And all you have to do is jump right back to the app to regain control of it. This also works with many other apps like Netflix. And again, it pushes the content to the TV in a full screen view, and your phone or tablet becomes the remote controller. This also works with many music apps such as Google Play Music, Pandora, or even Spotify. So this will allow you to play music on your TV speakers or your home entertainment system if your Chromecast is connected to one. And then your phone becomes a remote controller for that media, and you get the album artwork on the TV. Even some photo apps work with Chromecast, such as Google's Photos app. So if you want to see a slideshow, a full screen slideshow right on your TV, you get this little Chromecast icon within the photo gallery. So you can swipe through your images and you get a full screen uninterrupted view right on your TV. So you don't see any of the navigation tools, and you can pinch in and out and look at your photos on your phone without affecting that on the TV. So again, a really slick solution for looking at your photos on the big screen. Now the Chromecast is very similar to other set-top boxes. It broadcasts in full 1080p HD video with 5.1 surround sound where supported. Now still the best experience with Chromecast is via an Android device. So for example, with iOS, if you leave the app or lock your phone, you'll actually have to jump back to the app in order to regain control of your content. But with Android, you get quick access to that on your lock screen or from the drop-down notification shade. So that means you can quickly re-access your media controls without having to open up the app directly. Android also incorporates screen mirroring, so if you want to mirror the screen of your Android device right to your TV, you have that option. That gives you a little more flexibility for content that's not available through Chromecast. This also means you can do some level of game mirroring, so the phone can do most of the processing power and just mirror it to the TV, although it can be a little dodgy here because there is some latency, but it works surprisingly well. You can also mirror tabs from a Chrome browser on your computer. So this works with OS X, Windows, or a Chromebook. So if you have the Chromecast extension installed, you'll see a little indicator toward the URL bar, and you can select your Chromecast device, and then you get a full screen view of whatever tab you're casting right now. So this allows you to watch video live or just read through text. You can also select full screen view for video, and it pushes the audio to the television. Next up, let's take a look at the Chromecast app. This is another way of interacting with your Chromecast. So this will give me suggested items to watch on YouTube, Netflix, or Google Play. Those are all media apps installed that are compatible with Chromecast. We also have our compatible Chromecast apps listed down here so we can quickly jump into them if we want. We can also just search for content. Star Trek Into Darkness. So if I tap on my movie listing here, you can see I have two options compatible with Chromecast, including Netflix and Google Play. Now, if we go to devices, you can actually see the current wallpaper displayed, and this will give me the option to find out more information about it or jump to a map where this photo was taken. We can also go up to this gear icon to manage more settings for the Chromecast, including renaming it if we want. You can also turn off the backdrop. The backdrop is basically the screensaver. So if you want to turn this off, you can, or you can manage the content that feeds into it. So we have Google Photos, which we can turn on and off. We have Facebook, so we can plug in our Facebook account if we want. Flickr, same story. You can see it's all turned off by default. We also have Play Newsstand, so if you want images from current event displayed on your TV, you can. We also have news and lifestyle. So if I turn that on, the next image should relate to some news and lifestyle image like sports or that sort of thing. We also have art, which is on by default, and you can toggle on certain features here. So we have Google Cultural Institute, Google Open Gallery, or Street Art. You can toggle that on and off. We also have featured photos, which includes Google Plus, 500 pics, and Getty Images. So again, you can granularly control that. We have custom speed. So if you want to slow it down or speed it up, you can. We have satellite images, including Google Maps or NASA. And you have weather information. So if you don't want the weather information to appear, you can turn that on and off or change it to Celsius or Fahrenheit. We also have Get Apps. So if you want to find apps that are compatible with Chromecast, they're listed right here. Ultimately, the new Chromecast doesn't really add anything new from the previous generation, but it does improve performance in terms of Wi-Fi speed and stability. So that means this Chromecast can deliver the best possible video and audio streaming quality that your network can support. This also substantially improves the performance of mirroring, so we see a higher frame rate and less latency, although we're still stuck to 720p at best. So at only $35, this is an excellent option for basically anybody who has an iOS or Android device. This allows you to stream content from devices you already have, and you don't need to buy a dedicated set-top box. The only drawback here is that you can't really use a universal remote controller with the Chromecast. You'll have to use your mobile device and the universal remote to control everything else. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.